Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Simi Khurana from Ajay Kumar Garg Institute of Management. Today, I am going to teach Commercial Bank, Unit 2nd of the Financial Market and Services. The first question is, what is commercial bank? Commercial banks are profit-seeking financial institutions that take deposits from customers at a low rate of interest and make a business loan at a high rate of interest. In addition, they also sell the various investment products and banking services that are augment their profits. A commercial bank is a financial institution which performs the functions of accepting deposits from the general public and giving loans to for the investment with the aims of earning profit. In fact, commercial bank, as their name suggests, are the profit seeking institution. They do the business to earn profit. They generally finance trade and commerce with the short term loans. They charge a high rate of interest from the borrowers but pay much later of interest to their depositor, with the result that the difference between the two rates of interest becomes the main source of profit of the banks. Most of the Indian joint stock banks are the commercial banks, such as Bank of Baroda, Punjab National Bank, Allahabad Bank, Canara Bank, State Bank of India. All these are come under the commercial bank. Next one is the functions of the commercial banks. The two most important functions of the commercial banks are borrowing and lending, that is, accepting of deposits and lending of money to project to earn interest or a profit. In short, banks borrows to lend. The rate of interest offered by the bank to the depositor is called the borrowing rate, while the rate at which the banks lend out is called a lending rate. It means when the bank is paying the rate of interest, that is known as a borrowing rate, and when the bank is going to charge, then it is known as a lending rate. The difference between the rate is called spread, which is appropriated by the bank, and this is different from bank to bank. It's not remains the same. All the financial institutions are not commercial bank because only those which performs a dual function. And what are those dual function? It's accepting deposits and giving loans are termed as a commercial bank. For example, post office are not a bank because they do not give the loan. They are only accepting the deposits of their customers. Functions of the commercial banks are classified into two parts. One is the primary function and the secondary function. We will discuss first primary function. In the case of the primary function, banks accepting the deposit from the customer, and they are accepting in three forms, that is the fixed or the time deposits, saving deposits, current deposits. Let us discuss one by one all of them. A commercial bank accepts a deposit in the form of current savings and fixed deposits. The first deposit is the current account deposits. Such deposits are payable on demand and are therefore called demand deposit. It means it can be withdrawn by the depositor any number of times depending upon the balance in the account. The bank does not pay any interest on these deposits but provides a check facility. These accounts are generally maintained by the businessmen and industrialists who receive and make a business payment of large amount through checks. The next one is the fixed deposits. Fixed deposits have a fixed period of maturity and are referred to as a time deposit. These are the deposit for the fixed term, that is a period of time ranging from the few days to the few years. These are neither payable on demand nor they can enjoy the check facility. They can be withdrawn only after the maturity of the specified fixed period. They carry higher rate of interest. They are not treated as a part of the money supply. Recurring deposits, in which a regular deposit of an agreed sum is made, is also a part of the fixed deposits. The next one is the saving deposits. These are the deposits whose main objective is to save. Saving account is most suitable for the individual household. They combine the features of both current account and fixed deposit account. They are payable on demand and also withdrawable by check, but the banks give this facility with some restriction. It means bank may allow for 4 or 5 checks in a month, not more than that. Interest paid on the saving account deposit is lesser than that of the fixed deposits. Next one is the loan and advances. It gives a loan and advances. This is the second major function of the commercial bank. They provide the loan and advances, particularly to the businessman and entrepreneur, and therefore earns the interest. This is in fact the main source of income of the bank. A bank keeps a certain portion of the deposit with itself as a reserve and gives or lend the balance to the borrower as a loan and advances in the form of cash credits, demand loans, short term loans, overdraft. Now we will discuss one by one. The first one is the cash credit. In the case of the cash credit, the bank first sanctioned a credit limit. Within that limit, he is allowed to withdraw the certain amount on a given security. The withdrawing power depends upon the borrower's current assets, the stock statement of which is submitted by him to the bank as a basis of the security. It means the bank is taking the collateral security from the customer. Interest is charged by the bank on the drawn or the utilized portion of the credit. Let us take an example. The bank has sanctioned the 1 lakh limit to the customer for a loan in the form of the cash credit. The 1 lakh amount is not directly deposited in the 1 lakh amount is not actually withdrawn by the customer. It is directly credited to his account, and the bank will allow him to withdraw up to the certain limit, and whatever the amount he will withdraw, let us take example, he will withdraw the 20,000, that the interest charged by the bank is on 20,000, not on the 1 lakh rupees which they have credited in their account. Next one is the demand deposit. A loan which can be recalled on demand is called a demand loan. There is no stated maturity. The entire loan amount is paid in a lump sum by crediting to its loan account of the borrower. Those like security broker whose credit needs fluctuate generally take such loans on a personal security and a financial asset, and they have to pay the interest on whole loan amount. Next one is the short term loans. Short term loans are given against some security as a personal loans to finance the working capital or as a priority sector advances. Working capital is that capital which is required for day to day maintaining the business. The entire amount is repaid either in one installment or in a number of installments over the period of loan. The bank also uh, do the investments. The commercial bank invests their surplus funds in the types of securities. They are going to invest in the government securities, other approved securities, and other securities. Banks earn an interest on these securities. Now, the next secondary function of the bank is the discounting bill of exchange. Bill of exchange represent a promise to pay a fixed amount of money at a specified point of time in the future. It can also be encashed earlier through discounting process of a commercial bank. Alternative, a bill of exchange is a discount document acknowledging an amount of money earned in the consideration of goods received. It is a paper asset signed by the debtor and the creditor for the fixed amount payable on a fixed date. It's work like this. Suppose A buys the goods from the B. He may not pay B immediately, but instead give B a bill of exchange stating the amount of money owed and the time when A will settle the debt. Suppose B wants the money immediately. He will present the bill of exchange to the bank for discounting. Now the bank will deduct the commission and pay to the B the present value of the bill. When the bill matures after a certain period, that is, after the 3 months, 3 days, the bank will get the payment from A. This is known as a bill of exchange and it is very important for the debtors and the creditor. Sometimes the person don't have a money but they want to purchase the asset. They can do so by accepting the bill of exchange. Next one is the overdraft facility. An overdraft is an advance given by allowing a customer keeping current account to overdrawn his current account up to an agreed limit. It is a facility to a depositor for overdrawing the amount than the balance amount in his account. In other words, depositor of the current account make arrangement with the banks that in case a check has been drawn by them which are not covered by the deposit, then the bank should grant overdraft and honor the check. The security for the overdraft is generally financial assets like shares, debentures, life insurance policies of the account holder. The bank also perform the agency functions. The bank also acts as an agent of its customer and gets a commission for performing the agency function. There are the certain agency function. The first one is the transfer of the funds. It provides facilities for a cheap and easy remittance of the funds from place to place through demand drafts and mail transfer. Then, on the behalf of the customer, the bank also collects the bills and the demand drafts, payment of the various item. It makes a payment of taxes, insurance, premium, bill, etc. as per the direction of its customer. The bank also sell and buy the securities in a safe custody on the behalf of its customer. Collection of dividend, interest on shares and debenture is made on the behalf of its customer. The bank also acts as a trustee. If we need the letter of reference, it is also provided by the bank to its trader about their solvency. The bank also performs the general utility functions which are very important. The bank also give the traveler checks. The bank issue the traveler check and the gift check. No doubt The bank also provide the local facility to the customers, and he also purchase the and sell the foreign exchange currency on the behalf of the customer. Our next topic is e-banking. E-banking or the electronic banking has many names like e-banking, virtual banking, online banking, or internet banking. It is simply the use of electronic and the telecommunication network for delivering the various banking products and services. Through e-banking, a customer can access his account and conduct many transactions using his computer or mobile phone. There are the three types of e-banking: level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1. Through this service, the bank offers information about its product and services to its customer. Further, some banks may receive and reply to queries through email too. Level 2. In this level, banks allow their customers to submit instructions or application for different services, check their account balance, etc. However, banks do not permit their customer to do any fund-based transaction on their account. In the case of level 3, banks allow their customer to operate their accounts for fund transfer, bill payments, and purchase and redeem the securities. Most traditional banks offers e-banking facility as a method of providing the services. Further, many new banks deliver banking services primarily through the internet or other electronic delivery channels. Also, soon banks are internet only, banks without any physical branch anywhere in the country. There are the two types of websites: transactional websites and informational websites. Informational websites. These websites offer the general information about the banks and its product and the services to the customer. Transactional website. These websites allow to conduct transactions on the bank's website. Further, these transactions can range from a simple retail account balance inquiry to the large business to business funds transfer. Now, importance of the e-banking. We will look at the importance of the electronic banks, and we have divided it into three parts: from the customer point of view, from the bank's point of view, and from the business point of view. First, we will discuss about banks. Lesser transaction cost. Electronic transactions are the cheapest mode of transaction. A reduced margin for the human error since the information is relayed electronically. There is no room for human error. Lesser paperwork. Digital records reduce paperwork and make the proposed process easier to handle. Almost it is environmental friendly. Reduced fixed cost. A lesser need to for a branches which translate into the lower fixed cost. More loyal customers since e-banking services are the customer friendly. Banks experience higher loyalty from its customer. Now we will discuss the importance of the e-banking from the customer point of view. A customer can access his account and transact from anywhere, that is 24 into 7 into 365. Since the customer does not have to visit the branch for every transaction, it saves him both time and money. In a traditional banking system, geographical distance could hamper the certain banking transaction. But now, with the help of e-banking, geographical barriers are reduced. Now we will discuss about businessmen. Businessmen or the business owners and designated staff members can access the accounts quickly using the online banking. This allowed them to revive the account activity and also ensure the smooth functioning of the account. Electronic banking improves the productivity and allow the automation of the regular monthly payment and a host of the other features to enhance the productivity of the business. Usually, cost in the banking relationships are based on the resources utilized. If a certain business requires more assistance with the wire transfer, deposit, etc., then the bank charges higher fees. With the online banking, these expenses are minimized. Electronic banking also help to reduce the error in a regular banking transaction. Bad handwriting, mistakes information can cause error which can prove easily. Also, easy review of the accounts activity enhance the accuracy of the financial transactions. One thing is more important in the e-banking is fraud. Now, in the case of the frauds, with the help of e-banking, it can be reduced. Electronic banking provide a digital footprint for all the employees who have the right to modify the banking activities. Therefore, the business has better visibility into his transaction, making it difficult for any fraud to play. That's all about the banking, commercial banking. Thanks for listening me.